The sun was setting on a small town in Texas, painting the sky with streaks of gold and burnt orange, when Jake Pullman pulled into the old gas station off Route 46. He hadn't eaten all day, and his 5-year-old son Ben was already fast asleep in the back seat of their aging Ford truck. The engine coughed as it turned off, and silence fell, the kind of silence that echoes around a man who's carrying too much weight on his shoulders. Jake had just lost his third job in 6 months, and with every passing hour, the fear of failing his son gnawed deeper into his soul. But he wasn't ready for what he was about to witness. A moment so raw, so human, it would change everything he thought he knew about struggle, survival, and sacrifice. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of compassion, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to American Folktales. Stories like this deserve to be heard, and your support helps us tell more of them. As Jake stepped out of the truck, stretching his stiff legs and rubbing his tired eyes, he spotted them. 3 little kids, barefoot and dust-covered, standing on the edge of the gas station parking lot. Their clothes were thin and worn, clinging to their small frames like memories of better days. One girl, maybe 6 or 7, had long blonde hair tied back with a fraying ribbon. She held the hand of a younger girl who looked like she hadn't smiled in days. Beside them, a boy stood guard, his arms crossed, his jaw clenched with an expression far too old for his age. Jake's first instinct was confusion. What were these kids doing out here, at this hour, alone? Then he saw her. A woman in her late 20s, tall, thin, and visibly exhausted, stood a few feet away, watching her children with protective eyes. Her jeans were faded, her tank top knotted at the waist, and her face looked like it hadn't seen rest in years. Jake knew that look. It was the same one that stared back at him from the mirror every morning. He reached into his truck for the last protein bar he had stashed away, planning to eat it himself. But something tugged at him, something deeper than logic. He walked over slowly, unsure how to begin. The boy noticed him first, standing taller as if preparing to defend his family. Jake knelt down to eye level, holding out the bar, and as he did, he asked softly, "Do you want food?" The smallest girl took a hesitant step forward. Her eyes were wide, lips trembling, and she whispered in the tiniest voice, "Please, food." That moment cracked something in Jake. He wasn't rich, he wasn't even okay, but somehow he couldn't walk away. He turned to the woman, who met his gaze with a mixture of pride and desperation. She didn't beg, she didn't even speak, but her eyes, those tired, burning eyes, told him everything. He asked if she was all right, if they needed help, and for a few seconds, the world stood still between them. Then, without emotion, she spoke 7 words that would haunt Jake forever. "We haven't eaten in almost 3 days." Her name was Clara. She'd been on the road with her kids for weeks, trying to escape an abusive ex-husband in another state. She'd left everything behind, the apartment, the job, the few friends she had, and was surviving in a broken-down car parked behind the old diner that had shut down months ago. Every night, she bundled her children in clothes from a thrift store and hoped the cold wouldn't seep through. She had tried to find work, but with 3 kids and no address, no one would hire her. She had no phone, no money, and no one to call. Yet through all this, she had kept going. Not because she believed things would get better, but because giving up simply wasn't an option. Jake didn't know what to say. His own life was unraveling. His wife had passed away 2 years earlier in a car accident, and since then, it had been just him and Ben. He had tried everything to be both mother and father, provider and protector. He had lost jobs, moved towns, chased opportunity after opportunity that slipped through his fingers like sand. But even at his lowest, he'd never watched his child beg for food. That night, Jake did something he hadn't planned. He took Clara and her kids to the small motel he and Ben were staying at. He bought them a room for the night with the last of his cash, handed them 2 gas station sandwiches and a jug of milk, and told Clara, "Just sleep tonight. We'll figure it out tomorrow." He didn't sleep much himself. Not because of worry. That was always there. But because something inside him had shifted. He had seen himself in those kids. Seen his pain mirrored in Clara's eyes. And for the first time in a long time, he didn't feel alone in his suffering. Over the next few days, Jake began to help where he could. He offered to watch Clara's kids for a few hours each morning so she could walk into town and look for work. She got hired at a local diner to wash dishes and wait tables. A small job, but a start. Jake found some handyman work fixing fences and cleaning up yards. Ben made friends with Clara's children, and laughter slowly returned to their days. But the most powerful moment came a week later. Jake was driving Clara to her shift when she turned to him and said something that stopped him cold. "I was going to give up that night. I told the kids we'd try one last time, and then you showed up." She wasn't talking about fate. She wasn't talking about luck. She was talking about the quiet miracle of kindness. The kind that doesn't make headlines. The kind that doesn't come from wealth or comfort. The kind that simply sees another human being and says, "I can't fix everything, but I can stand with you." But Jake didn't become rich. Clara didn't suddenly escape poverty. But over time, they built something stronger. A bond forged not in romance or convenience, but in resilience and truth. They became family. Two broken people who didn't heal each other, but helped each other survive long enough to start healing on their own. And that was enough. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who needs a reminder that good people still exist, and subscribe to American Folktales for more true, inspiring stories that matter. Your support helps us bring light to the darkest corners. Special request. Please leave a comment and tell us, what would you have done if you were in Jake's shoes that night? We read every comment, and your words matter.